Hello and welcome to another episode of the Cricket and the King podcast, the podcast where Jesus is the answer to everything and we are constantly expanding on that point. I'm your host Ben and this is my co-host Katie.
Hello.
And today we are going to be talking about conspiracy theories. Because it's not that I want to talk about conspiracy theories like I have a bunch of conspiracy theories I want to talk about.
Let them out.
No. No, I'm just kidding. I was going to say JFK was assassinated by the CIA. That's like almost proven at this point, but see, I'm letting out my conspiracy side.
Okay.
Like I was writing a brief blurb about conspiracy theories, and I was saying eventually, whether you've known someone for 5 years or 5 seconds, depending on what kind of person it is, you will find out what side of the moon landing they're on.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, like sometimes there's people you meet and they're like, do you know 9/11 was an inside job? You're like, hi, I'm Dave. Nice to meet you too.
And and it's like some people just make that their whole personality.
Yeah, conspiracy theories become people's whole personality.
Yeah, and it's like they stick that on the back of their car and stuff, and you're just stopped at a red light and you're reading them all, and you're like, what did I just read?
Yeah. Like and they've made such a strong comeback.
Yeah.
Especially since the COVID-19 pandemic. Because, and this is the problem though, so many different conspiracies turned out to be true.
Yeah,
that
during COVID.
It gave people a lot of mileage. But the problem is like, you know, people took it. So the Epstein Island thing. Oh, and this is going to have some mature subject matter. So if parents are listening to this and they have children, maybe don't have children listening to this. But like the Epstein Island thing, they were sex trafficking children essentially for the rich and powerful.
Yeah.
And that was a conspiracy that was brought about years before.
And everyone's like, ha ha.
Yeah, everyone's like, no, there's no way that's real. Totally real. Completely real. Okay, but that being a real thing that was a conspiracy theory doesn't mean that the president of the United States is a clone.
Yeah,
like the Occam's razor
really
jump.
funny.
Yeah, the Occam's razor jump, like where you're like the most likely thing is probably true, and you just go like, well, Epstein Island was a thing, like the president's a clone.
I just love that,
I don't know.
the people that are like, the moon landing never happened because we're not that advanced, even though we have planes and rockets and things, but there's definitely human clones. I'm just like, the difference in technology there that you would need. I'm like, we go on planes every day. I mean, I don't, but planes are just always up in the air, and you're like, we can't go to the moon. I don't know. I've got questions sure about that theory.
I do find it very interesting.
Those like the two things,
I think the reason they've gotten so popular is because people on the fringe, people with an outside voice, because I'm always kind of against the current thing. I just want to state that, like, I'm kind of like, I oppose whatever the current thing is. Like, I should have a t-shirt that says that, because I'm just oppositional by nature. And so
Not you.
not me. And so I recognize in myself a constant, like, no, I don't believe you, and that suspicious nature in me can serve me well or poorly and make me seem like a psycho. So I think the rise, though, of people that are conspiratorial or fringe, they have access to the whole world through the internet. So you can just throw out on Twitter, like, the lizard people are taking over Congress, right?
Yeah.
And whereas it would only be you and your trenchcoat kid friends that would hear that before, now you're saying it to 2 billion people. And they're like, I don't know.
Like a platform.
Yeah, it's like, are the lizard people taking over Congress? What is the lizard I didn't know that people thought lizard people were a thing.
Yeah, you could just make like a YouTube video nowadays and then make it really convincing and put some cinematic music in
a couple
there.
AI generated images of like people with lizard eyes,
the
or
world
like
is your oyster
somebody
nowadays.
unzipping their skin, like what is that in the early X-Men, the cockroach thing that puts on a dude like a skin suit?
Yeah,
Sorry,
well, people are
that's a
convinced that
gnarly
like the
reference.
queen is a lizard.
The queen's dead, Katie.
Well, it was a lizard.
People are convinced the queen was a lizard. I quote Katie Cricket. But it's so interesting that it's gotten to this point, right? Because now because so many conspiracy theories have been proven true,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's too much wind in the conspiracy sails,
Yeah.
right?
But I feel like, you know, for a lot of those things, I think for people, there's like a sense of power that they feel when they're like, oh, there's this big problem,
Yes.
and it can be taken down,
And
you
I
know,
know
and
the
I
answer.
have this special intel, blah blah blah. I feel like for a lot of people that gives them a sense of pride and power to like know the what's going on, whereas if it's just like human brokenness or like stupidity or whatever it may be, then that's a lot harder to accept.
Yeah.
That things could just be broken because people are broken, you know?
Like you would rather believe that there's a global conspiracy to take over the world than you would that a bunch of people failed and made stupid and selfish decisions and now things
Yeah.
are going poorly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is very true. I think it provides a sense of security as well and brings self-importance to
Yeah.
people that would otherwise have no, I don't want to say no value in society. Like to me, everybody's
Everybody has
valuable
value, yeah.
because they're all made in the image of God, but
They're like, quick, like,
but
what,
they don't
what
have
can I
status,
say,
right? So then they feel they get to have like like you said, secret elevated knowledge. Like, oh, I know
which
this.
is a pride, right?
Yeah, it is a
manifests
form
as
of pride. And then they're like, oh, I know that this thing is going on. And they get to feel self-important. And then the other side of it, like you had said, is the control side. Where you're like, oh, well, that explains it. There's a global cabal of, you know, evil Illuminati hand signaling billionaires
Yeah.
that are controlling the world to a darker future.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's the case. I do believe that there is a global conspiracy, but it's evil.
Yeah, like
you
the
know?
devil in the details sort of thing. And
Yeah.
he manipulates people and
Yeah, it's-
and leads people, you know.
It's evil
there's
in
two
the
teams.
it's evil in the world expressing itself towards a common goal of destruction of good.
Yeah. Which
these-
is like, that shouldn't blindside us as believers, right?
No, we're Christians. We believe in a wacky like magic thing. Not magic thing, but it's just
But it's like there's
is
nothing
it
about
so
it
far
that's
is it so
normal.
far-fetched to believe that if we're Christians and we believe that one Jewish guy died 2,000 years ago for the sins of the world, conquering sin and death and, you know, bringing eternal salvation to humanity, reconnecting God and man, that there's also an evil power working in the world, like, and the devil doesn't even have to work that hard on people because people are already selfish, right?
Yeah. And like out for their own gain,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Like what did the devil tempt Jesus with, right? Money, power, fame.
Yeah. Like literally a kingdom
Yeah.
on this earth.
Yeah. And so we can see that people in this world are tempted by those things and manipulated by those things. You know, they're blackmailed by those things.
Yeah.
The Epstein Island thing, you know, like it's pretty clear that all that stuff was used for blackmail. And then, you know, Epstein hung himself apparently by choking himself to death viciously enough to break his own neck.
Well, I heard on a bumper sticker that was not the case. I read that at a stoplight.
I saw a, you know, those the pine scent trees that hang in the on the mirror
Yeah.
of your car. I saw one. It was Jeffrey Epstein's face. It was like a scented thing, and it was like, this car freshener did not hang itself. I thought that was so funny.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so this episode this is not a universal episode. This is specific to this time, which is 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think conspiracy theories are always relevant though.
They'll probably be relevant, and there will probably be way better ones moving into the future.
Yeah. Also, I don't know about you, but like Nancy Drew was like a big thing growing up.
Yeah.
You know, so how many people just graduate from Nancy Drews to like real-time conspiracy theories? Even like the amount of people that like they love binge listening to like murder mysteries
true
and
crime
stuff.
podcasts.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
you know, I feel like there's this like draw towards mystery
Yeah.
that people really love, but for some people it's like trying to solve the problems of this world, you know?
Well, I think we would like it to be simpler too. That's another thing that conspiracy theories really do powerfully is they simplify circumstances into really clear lines of like good and bad.
Yeah, with
this,
like no nuance.
Yeah, lizard person, real person. and And that's not the case. The world is deeply complicated,
Mm-hmm.
and embracing that is challenging. Saying that there might be a man who's selfishly motivated and taking $2 million bribes, but at the same time he did a good thing and brought in, UN supplies for a starving nation. Like, both those things can be true at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's hard to hold that in our minds.
Yeah.
Or that somebody could have been on Epstein's list and made a policy that was like helpful to international trade or something. And I'm not condoning the sinful action. I'm just saying that people are intensely complicated, and we can't use conspiracy to bring about clarity in our worldview, because that just creates, I don't want to say stupid people, but I would say simple people.
Yeah. But I feel like you could tie that into like faith in general, though, because I think that just in the church, people have the tendency to want to put what they don't understand in a box and to simplify it. And I think largely that's what people have done, in different denominations or whatever else. People like to... Oh, you're adjusting my mic. What are you doing? Is that good? Okay. So sorry. But people like to put things into a box that don't include nuance, that, and even when it comes to understanding our faith and God, there's so much that we don't understand. There's so much that is unseen, yet we in our humanness, we don't like unknowns. We're not comfortable with that. Like being able to put a question mark over something and trust that, it might be revealed to you in time, where you're just like, no, there has to be a reason. My experiences say this, so this must be true, and nothing else will fly, yada yada. So, and I think that that's just like our human nature, right?
Yeah.
To just want to do that with things we don't understand.
There are objective absolute truths, right?
Yeah.
And that is held in tension with that. The only certainty is uncertainty. We only know that things are going to be variable going into the future.
Yeah.
Like, we live in a very stable society, so it's going to be... What are the kids listening to?
Something with a harmonica.
It's got a flipping harmonica, and
I was
it's
like,
brutal.
guys, be quiet. And
Guys,
like,
be quiet.
Let's play a harmonica.
Yeah, let's play a harmonica podcast. I gotta figure this out. Oh, okay, we're gonna pause. Okay, we're back. We figured out the harmonica weirdness. It was a conspiracy for the government to disturb our podcast on conspiracies.
Yeah, they don't like what we're doing over here.
They don't like what we're doing. We're too powerful. What did I say? I said the CIA killed JFK.
Yeah.
And then
they were listening.
And then they were like, we got to turn on a harmonica podcast and make this happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally trying to derail the things we're talking about right now.
We're speaking too much truth to power.
We're such a threat.
We say in our suburban small town. Yeah. With the people having feelings of control when they talk about conspiracy, and the only certainty being uncertainty, I think those two things play powerfully together. And then there's also just that we are in this social media age. Like, social media only really came about in 2010, right? And then powerfully started manifesting itself in 2015, and then made it into like everything in 2017.
Yeah.
So then we've only been dealing with it for 7 years. And so, like I said, Joe Blow can say something, and then all of these people have to look and disseminate, who probably don't have, like, nobody has time to disseminate all the information on the internet.
Yeah, and I think it's worth noting, too, that to be an author, right, there's so many sources you have to cite. There's so many, the publishing process, all these different things play into writing a novel. Whereas now you really can just say anything or put anything out there.
You could write a manifesto.
Yeah, you could have like a blog, you can write, or you can have a really convincing YouTube video. Like you can put whatever you want, and you don't know if it's a 13-year-old boy or if it's a like 60-year-old man.
Oh,
you don't know.
I see that I like these kind of history of the world type videos. I watch them fairly often.
Yeah.
And all kinds of people pipe in on history or what the
Yeah,
events
like in the
were or
comment
stuff in the
section.
comment section.
Never
and
read the comment section.
you can
of
never
anything.
you can never tell if it is a 12-year-old child. It's like, well, no, Napoleon never went up that way through Russia, or it's like,
Yeah.
you don't know what their sources are. Nobody's citing sources. People are just
They're just throwing
disagreeing
things out, and
about the
somebody,
history
yeah,
video.
and somebody's reading that, being like, "Huh,
Yeah.
you know, maybe
And
that's
how
worth
can you know?
considering."
How
Yeah.
can you know who's got the corner on the history of the Napoleonic Wars? I don't. You know, I can't read all the material. Enough books have probably been written about the Napoleonic Wars in English, at least, that it would
Yeah.
take me several years to get through them all.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just one topic. You know, there's people that they're masters in the biology of chickens, and they've spent their life doing that. And I'm not there.
I love that for them.
I love you like chickens.
I love chickens.
You'd be probably right in your sweet spot if you studied chickens all day.
Yeah.
But there is so much information in our world, and most of us are not prepared to handle even I don't know. I was going to say fifth, but that's just too much. We're not ready to obtain 1/1,000,000th of the collective knowledge of humanity, because there's just so much to know. There's so much variability, and that's why we all have trade specialization.
Yeah.
But with conspiracy theory, what you were saying about publishing, like before you had to cite sources, and at least 6 people at a publishing house had to think you weren't crazy, and they'd publish your thing. That being said, some wild stuff got published back in the day.
Yeah, they just have like a crazy publishing team, and
Yeah.
they just managed to squeak a book through, you know?
Yeah, maybe they were like, people must know about the lizard people, so they made their own publishing house, got their own millionaire sponsor who believed
Yeah.
in the lizard people to print
Yeah,
out hundreds of
absolutely.
thousands of books, and were like, the coming slime, or whatever they called the lizard people book.
Harley.
But-
but that's like, there's so much more hoops you have to jump through.
Yeah.
Versus being 11 years old and on YouTube.
Yeah,
you know?
and just being like, Princess Diana was murdered. Somebody could just say whatever. I'm saying these general conspiracy theories because I can't come up with any creative ones. I haven't had my creative juice today. And that I'm not an alcoholic, folks. That was
just to clarify.
Katie's eyes got wide when I said I haven't had my creative
Well, that's something that
juice.
we say in our house.
Yeah, it's something we say in our house.
Creative juices are something that flow
Yeah.
through us.
It's
They
something.
don't come from anywhere.
Yeah, it's something that we don't actually drink. It's just I was gonna say euphemism, but
I don't know.
no, I don't know what the term would be. That's the wrong word to use. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Whatever. All this to say, authors had bigger hoops. Now we have Twitter. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just, I think that's what's really accelerated it. And then also the failing of institutions that we watched happen over COVID opened the gates for people to doubt everything.
Yeah.
And it's, like I said, it's just so not helpful to doubt everything. Like, it might all be falling apart and we might be totally screwed.
Well, and to add on to our last podcast of like the patterns of this world, there's something really, really scary about not being able to trust the things that secure your patterns of this world, right? So if you can't trust the bank, you can't trust the government, you can't trust the public education system, or, your ability to retire or whatever, like that either, I think, fires people up in coming up with grand conspiracies, or it makes people push back against any kind of possibility that something could be wrong because they're so afraid to have those things threatened, right?
And that's where you get the polarization. It's like the everything is wrong, burn it down, or the everything's fine, continue on and
Without
change
the
nothing.
nuance of
Without
like
the
that
nuance.
middle, like maybe there are some things that are wrong. Maybe we haven't let certain organizations and companies fail, like maybe
maybe
the
we need to
government
hold certain
is-
people accountable. Maybe
the government's not making wise choices, or maybe we're allowing things into our education system that shouldn't be there, instead of one side which is like super far conspiracy, and the other side which is like my world is perfect and nothing could possibly go wrong. There should be a middle ground, and I would like to think that middle ground is called discernment. And you should have discernment. If you have the Holy Spirit, you should be able to ask, like, what do you see? you know, like maybe you'll get an answer, you know,
Mhm.
maybe, you know, but it also says not to fear, right? It says don't fear.
When you
know?
say it, you mean the Bible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Bible says not to fear.
The Bible says not to fear. Perfect
Yeah.
love casts out fear.
Mhm.
And conspiracy theories are mostly about fear. Now, some of them are fun, like there's a secret land of Jell-O that's hidden in the White House, but others are not helpful. Like I said, that all the people in Congress are lizards or whatever.
Yeah, I would like to think when people are like, the world is flat, I'm like, yes, because on the bottom is government secrets.
The world is flat.
They're hiding things underneath.
Show me
They
the
don't want us
edge.
to see. Digs hole and
Yeah,
the ground.
continues to
I'll
dig
find
hole.
it.
I will find the bottom.
Anyway.
I don't understand. I
This
don't
is,
understand.
This is gonna get so unhinged
Because,
we don't
like,
just
if the
put a
world is
full bow
flat,
on it.
no, can we just talk about this for a second? Like,
Sure.
if the world is flat, you have to find a totally other way. Like, they drill down like 400 meters for oil. So it's not totally flat. Like, you're essentially saying, like, the world is a cylinder to some extent, whether that be super thick or super thin.
Mm-hmm.
And we are on one side of that cylinder.
Yeah.
So it's like, do people think there's like infinite Earth beneath us? I want to know, you know?
And I'm just like, when we look at planets in the sky, they're all round. Like,
Mhm.
what's
And
why
what makes
would
us
Earth
think
be
that
flat?
they're flat face all facing us? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's like a plate.
Yeah, it's like a plate. Like suddenly all of the plates are aligned to face us. It's just, and
It's
I understand that
strange, for sure.
heliocentrism was like established and proven many years ago, and we don't need to have this dogmatic argument. But the fact that it's making a strong comeback is a breeding ground for concern for me. I am flabbergasted that people are like willing to deny all of physics and just be like, the Earth is flat and everything that's round is just facing us and is flat too. It's like, why?
Why'd you give him an accent? I feel like that's really specific.
I don't know.
We have nothing against Southern folk, all
I
right?
have nothing against Southern folk, but there seems to be a lot of Southern folk out there being like, the Earth is flat. I don't know. Maybe they're not.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, there's people out in Podunk, Alberta too, being
Yeah.
like the Earth is flat.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. I don't know what the solution to conspiracy would be other than objective honesty from everyone everywhere. But
Yeah.
then here's the problem.
What's the problem?
Well, I'm going to explain the problem.
Okay.
Okay. So the problem is you have things like, do you know what a B-52 is?
Nope.
It's a stealth bombing aircraft.
Okay.
And
I know I've heard it, but
Okay.
yeah, I just wanted you to
so the
explain.
B-52 is this, it looks weird. It is an absolutely absurd
Okay.
looking plane.
Mhm.
And it looks like an alien spacecraft.
Okay.
Like if you were to see it and have no context, you would be like,
There's other
the
life forms.
the aliens are coming.
Yeah.
You know? And so when the B-52 was being developed, guess what went up in that area of Nevada? Alien
I've heard
sightings.
This. I've heard
A
this.
ton of alien
and it's
sightings.
by the military base, right?
Yeah,
Or
it's
on
by the military
base.
So what do you
Yeah.
flipping think the military's doing? They're flying planes. Okay?
Yeah.
Weird planes you've never seen before. I swear it was a saucer. It was moving faster than anything. I'm sorry. I don't know why I go
Again,
into
the
the
southern-
accent. But I'm like, I swear it was moving so fast and they wanted to probe my booty. You know, like, they're just like, people are going nuts.
Yeah.
You know? But then it's this secret, and then they're keeping it, and then it comes out, you know, oh, it's a B-52 bomber. It looks like an owl in flight from the front. It's very absurd.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like a saucer. The strobes are all placed in a way that are very confusing. It's untrackable by radar because
Yeah.
it's a stealth bomber. Like, all this stuff comes out on this piece of equipment. And now we have these new UFO reports, and people are like, the aliens. Again, like, it just goes right to Southern accent. The Southern accents are just going to be my conspiracy accent, okay? Like, people are just like, the aliens are coming. And so I'm just like, it's probably drone technology or some sort of tech that you're just perceiving And also human perception is so broken. Like we see what we focus on. I don't know if you've ever seen the gorilla video.
No.
We've talked about this on the podcast before, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
There's this video of people passing a basketball, and the video directs you to ask or to count how many times they pass the basketball to each other.
Okay.
And then during the video, a dude in a gorilla suit walks out, waves at you, and then goes back onto the other side of the screen. Now, if you're focusing on counting how many times they're passing the basketball, and you're tracking that, you will not see the gorilla. Or like 97% of people won't see the gorilla.
Huh, interesting.
Right? And the other 3% just weren't counting on how many times to pass the basketball. So your perception is, you're perceiving what you're directing your perception at. I know
Okay.
that sounds dumb, but
Okay.
that is the actual fact. So I'm just like, people are perceiving what they can understand and conceive of.
Yeah.
So if they see something that they don't understand, they're going to find a way to box it up, i.e. aliens, right? And I can't be on the Occam's razor thing where like the most likely thing is probably the most likely thing. I don't think it's aliens. I don't think it's
No.
aliens. I think it's something cool, some cool drone stuff, but it ain't the aliens.
Yeah, I mean, this might be for another podcast another day, but I think when people see like physical beings, I think those are demons.
I think of it. Okay.
You know?
Okay, let's put our conspiracy hats on.
Okay.
Oh, baby. We're getting into the weeds.
Well, because we believe in the spiritual
Yeah,
realm,
we do
right?
believe in the spirit realm. And so I'm pretty on board with a lot of manifestations that happen for people are either drug-induced trips
Yeah.
or they are experiencing the demonic or the spirit realm,
Yeah.
and they're just deeply confused and trying to rationalize.
Yeah, and what we understand is all these videos that show aliens and all this stuff. And so if you see something that is beyond your comprehension, you're going to be like, that's an alien, you know? Where it's like, I think that there's a lot going on in the spiritual realm that we don't see, which is probably for the best.
Probably for the best.
You know? But yeah, I think you can see physical manifestations of those things.
Yeah. And that is within biblical doctrinal reason, like it's within the realm of reasonable possibility.
Yeah.
Based on our beliefs and even in our experience, you know, we've seen things in the spirit world, I suppose. And so that's just one person's experience. Now we might be nuts and just like on this journey of life and completely wrong, but I don't think we are. But everybody thinks they're right. That's
Yeah.
the problem too.
Yeah.
The lizard people, like, I think it would take, I don't actually know how you would convince them.
Like the lizard people themselves.
No.
That's how you made it sound.
You're just being a turd. No, the lizard people, like the people that believe in the lizard people.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, because maybe they're in too deep.
I don't know.
Like, what if you own a store that makes like I Saw the Aliens shirts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you,
Oh, I think they'd sell.
well, okay, they'd sell, but I'm just saying this person based their life around it, and then they recognize that the aliens aren't coming and it's a lie, you know, and they have this like crisis of faith.
Okay, but
Alien
there's like
faith?
okay, but there's people that have written books too about like Jesus coming back at a certain time.
Oh, what was
And they
it, like
based their
88
life-
reasons for
Yeah.
Jesus' return in 88? And then he wrote a book in 89 called 89 Reasons for 89, and then
Yeah.
his third book
And he made a ton of money.
on both books.
Yeah, and
Which is
people
hilarious.
continue to eat
Like,
that
it
up.
sold less on the second year, but I'm like,
But I'm like, that would fall under the realm of like conspiracy. Like you are, it says nobody will, sorry, not it, the Bible. The Bible
it
says,
says no one knows
no
the
one.
day or the hour.
yeah. And then some guy somewhere is like, I don't know.
He's just coming
I
back.
know the day.
And you went into the southern accent too.
I know there's
See?
a trend here. So I'm like, might as well. But like that falls under the realm of conspiracy as well. You know, why,
And
how you could try to convince the masses about a certain occurrence or a coming of Christ. And it's like, he will return, but the Bible says we won't know when that is.
Well, and Christian conspiracy theories are the worst. Because they're able to spread like wildfire because the Christian community is relatively small and interconnected like crazy.
Yeah.
So people will say, like, I remember there was this thing about like grave soaking or something.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
it was a statement said by one person that just got taken way out of hand and way
yeah.
out of context.
Oh, yeah.
Or no, it might have been I don't even care. I'm not on board with it. I'm just like,
It's just an example.
it's just an example. It got wild though.
Yeah.
And then what else? What other crazy like when people are claiming that Jesus is coming back.
Oh,
I
I
know
have a good
people
one.
that think he's coming back like this month.
Yeah.
You know,
And
or
again,
this
we
or
won't
this
know.
year, or like they're like, we are in the last of the last
the
days. I'm
Bible-
like,
the Bible
we're
says to
always
be
in the
ready,
last days,
right?
technically.
Like the Bible never stops saying to be ready.
Yeah.
Right? But like that was true in the time it was written, and it's true now. And it's
Yeah.
been true every generation in between that, right?
Just be ready
To be ready.
and
And watch,
Yeah.
watch the things that are happening.
yeah,
you know?
be aware,
Yeah.
but don't.
And it's like there's clues. We see that there's clues. Another conspiracy though. Sorry, this is gonna get so out of hand if we keep going. But another
yeah. Let's just
conspiracy
run through them.
was I heard, like just during COVID, that people genuinely believed that the vaccine was like the mark of the beast,
Oh my
and that was gonna be like the separation. I'm like, really?
So I was working with this gentleman who will remain nameless.
Yeah.
I was doing electrical in this house, and he was the insulator, I think.
Okay.
And then he's like, "Hey man, you want to see my artwork?" Because he like found out I was a Christian. Because I think I was listening to a podcast or something.
Okay.
And he asked me, and I was like, "Oh, it's like a sermon or whatever." And he's like, "You want to see my art?" And then it's like this baby in a vaccine vial or whatever.
Oh no.
Yeah, and he's like, it's like the something blood mark of the beast. I'm like, oh my gosh. I didn't react strongly.
Were
I was
you
just
just
like,
like, cool,
I was like,
man?
yeah, pretty much. I was just like, oh, interesting, and then just
Yeah.
like brushed it off.
That's hilarious.
You know, I'm just like, I don't know how to respond to this
Yeah.
because I don't know. And also the mark of the beast is apocalyptic. Like the context in which the statement for the mark of the beast is written is an apocalyptic writing by John, either of Patmos or Disciple. Like, I don't care actually which one it was. Like, people are like, it wasn't John. I don't give a poo. I don't care.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to say that. But like, it seems to represent what you are doing with your mind and what you are doing with your hands. And then it's applicable through all time. And then also when people say like that the mark of the beast was like the symbols that they gave tattooed on the Jews or whatever, I'm like, are you siding with the Nazis? Because I've heard that before.
Yikes.
Right? That's crazy. Like they were giving them the mark of the beast. I'm like, so are you on
Against
team?
their will.
I think people just didn't. Honestly, I think because I'm thinking back on the people who were saying that, like I think they just didn't think through the implications of what saying that about the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Would, you know, or
Like
they're
they
like,
would be separated from Christ, like God's chosen people,
yeah,
through this like great evil that someone else is committing. It's like, did you not?
yeah.
Think
It's
that
like, but that's
through.
not the mark of the beast. Like people aren't worshiping. Yeah, it just was weird to me.
Wild.
Anyway, but it's, and I think that there probably will be some sort of mark. I worry. You know what bothers me so much?
What?
So they're coming out with this technology, right, where you can purchase things like with a credit card that they insert in like a
Oh,
little
like the
RFID chip.
Yeah.
And the best place to put it is like your forehead or your hand,
Yeah.
just because the skin's very thin there.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, can we not?
Can we? I also like just the ramifications of having to scan your forehead every time you like go to buy something. Like that would just be really awkward. Oh, like even when you're at Home Depot and you have like the scanner gun or something, like I just like imagine like pointing that at your forehead.
Or like
Here, let me just pay
you're
for
like
that.
swiping your face across the scanner. Yeah,
Anyway.
I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't necessarily think.
But again, it's okay to put like a big question mark over things. You know, it's like we don't need to. We're talking about this being like, I don't know what will become of that, but I know that there's trials for these things in some countries.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to make a YouTube video to convince everybody what exactly is happening
We don't
and why
have to
you
say-
need to be
yeah.
afraid.
Ben and Katie's 15 reasons why the mark of the beast will come on
And then
October
we're gonna sell a lot of books. We're gonna become millionaires.
Yeah,
You know, maybe even billionaires
billionaires with our
We'll just
with our
cash
crazy
out
conspiracy
off of
theory
people's
books.
fear.
We'll start a mega church.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Sorry, this went deep. But yeah, well, if you've made it this far in our little rabbit hole side bonus episode about conspiracy theories, I appreciate you.
You should get an award.
You should get an award. We would send it to you in the mail if we weren't lacking current resources. But but if you have any questions, concerns, or things you would like to say, feel free to comment. You can comment on whatever platform you're listening to, or you can send us an email at thecricketandtheking.com. Oh, sorry, thecricketandtheking@gmail.com. Sorry, that's the email. And cricket is spelled with a K, Kricket. thecricketandtheking@gmail.com. Thanks again. Have a lovely rest of your day. Stay sane, stay in God's grace. And the lizard people aren't real. That's all. Goodbye.